Hello and welcome to How Do I Homeschool? My name is Rebecca Devitt. I'm the author of Why on Earth Homeschool, and today we're going to be talking about if I will be homeschooling my child and why or why not. The short answer to the question is yes, I will be homeschooling my child. I was homeschooled myself, and I also went to school for a short period of time, and I much preferred my time when I was homeschooling with my parents and my brothers and people in our church and our homeschooling friends compared to my time in my Christian school. Sometimes I wonder if people make the choice to homeschool or not to homeschool based on their own experience. So what is familiar with them? For that reason, because a lot of people have gone to school, they choose to send their children to school because they're not familiar with homeschooling. Because I was homeschooled, it would feel strange for me to do something else with my child, and so I recognise that that is a huge factor. For my husband, he hasn't been homeschooled, so I think he's looking at me going, I hope it's okay, but he's trusting me, which is wonderful. But my point is that a lot of people base their decision on emotions rather than reasons. Having said that, I do have a lot of reasons to be homeschooling my child, which I will now tell you. My first reason for homeschooling my child is that I am a Christian, and I basically think I can do a better job of inculcating them with Christian truths than a school might be able to do. My experience, again, this goes back to my experience, was that my Christian school was not, for whatever reason, was not doing that effectively. And when I started to be homeschooled, my parents did this much more effectively. This would depend a huge amount on what parents you had. So one of my favourite homeschooling speakers, Kevin Swanson, he often parrots a phrase saying homeschooling is not a panacea, and it is true. Homeschooling really depends on what the parents are like. So homeschooling can be so wonderful if you have wonderful parents, but it can be also pretty ordinary if you have pretty ordinary parents. And unfortunately, even if you sent your children to school and you were ordinary parents, you'd have probably an ordinary upbringing. Another big reason I want to homeschool my children is because I've noticed that a lot of homeschoolers are really good friends with their parents and with their siblings, and I really want to be great friends with my children. I don't know if I would have the same relationship with them if I sent them to school. In a homeschooling situation, because you're spending so much time together all the time with your sibling. For me, when I was homeschooled, I was spending so much time with my parents and with my siblings. We just became such good friends, and that was wonderful, whereas when I was at school, I didn't feel that we were such good friends. Another reason I'll be homeschooling my child is because I would love for him to learn an entrepreneurial venture early on in his life. So a lot of parents will, when their children are in high school, they'll get them to start just thinking about going to college, and I would like my child to think about starting their own business, an entrepreneurial venture, and I think that can go really well if the child starts that early, if they very early on identify what they're interested in, and then say at even age 10 you can start encouraging them to go down that path with the view of having a business or making money or setting up plans so that they can make all their mistakes when they're young, and then when they get to 16 they'll have figured it all out. Whereas when a lot of people start their businesses, they're starting a lot later. They don't have the capital, perhaps because they're married or for other reasons. But if you get them to start early, you can do this with them, and then you can also give them advice and wisdom because you are that little bit older, and it can be a lot of fun for them to do these things, and they can learn many skills, which I love. In a homeschool situation, you can also drop out an awful lot of the fluff, the busy work that's done in schools, and for that reason a lot of homeschoolers only do 2 to 3 hours of formal homework study a day, and then they can spend the other portion either helping their parents do chores or do leisure activities or practicing their hobbies, or working on an entrepreneurial venture, something like that. I might stop there as I've given you quite a few reasons, but yeah, these are some of my big reasons for homeschooling my own child, and yeah, why I will be doing that. So thank you so much for listening today. I really enjoy making these videos, and I'm grateful for you for listening to them. So please subscribe and like, and if you've loved it, you can always press the bell button below as well, and that will tell you every time I put out a new video. So thanks for listening.